after the success of Mobile Suit Gundam, Witch of Mercury, everyone was excited to see what would happen next. I mean, Witch of Mercury brought in a lot of new fans to Gundam, and some old ones as well back. Some people were often iffy about the decision that they decided to go with Gundam at that time, but trust me, I've seen Gundam go weirder places. I mean, more ridiculous, silly, even with terrible CGI. So, in my opinion, Witch of Mercury was not the worst turn Gundam has ever done. It is the one that you know the most because it's happening at that moment. That being said, Gundam was still viewed overwhelmingly positive by a lot of people, myself included. It had a good amount of episodes. It could use just a little bit more for certain characters. The plot was at least stable. You knew what was happening. You were seeing events slowly unfold as time goes on. I love the music. I love the animation. I love the characters. And I love the situation that they were in and how they were able to resolve it towards the end. There was something that I wish they did differently, but I digress. So, with this new one that was coming out, people were excited. And apparently, the art director from Pokemon, Game Freak slash Nintendo, is working on this. So when I saw the artwork in the animation, like it gave off a Studio Trigger slash Gynex feel for me. And I'm like, wow, I dig this. I like it. It felt different, you know, and I liked it. I like looking at the artwork. I like looking at especially the main characters, how colorful they were, how expressive they were compared to Witch of Mercury. So I actually like this artwork better than Witch of Mercury only because it's more unique than Witch of Mercury. But anyways, um, it seems like anyone or anything that goes away from Nintendo, for some reason, they're able to show off the true prowess of what they're able to do. For instance, Game Freak, who does Pokemon games, are doing another game outside of Nintendo, and it looks freaking amazing. It looks so amazing. You couldn't even tell it was Nintendo. It was from Game Freak because you're so used to Game Freak just doing Pokemon games. Then now this art director, it looks like they're able to do something more unique with their art style this time, and I enjoy it for what they're doing with it. Now, let's get on with the plot. There are three main characters, really two, but three. One is the everyday average high school girl, Machu, the courier, Neon, and of course the mysterious boy with the red Gundam, and that is Suji. Machu runs into Neon when Neon is running a job, which getting herself involved with it. Events happen and they get their hands on a Gundam, a new kind of Gundam called the GQuuuuuuX. And it turns out it responds to Machu very well because she's a new type. Now, people wondering, newcomers, what's a new type? New types are the form of human. You can say they're mutants, ESP users, in a way. That's pretty much what a new type is in the Gundam world. Someone with a high electronic frequency that's able to sometimes do different forms of abilities for each individual. The higher the frequency that person is, the more of a stronger new type they are. Kind of like an X-Men in a way. Each one has a very unique, distinct ability that's different from the others. Some can see different futures. Some can read minds. Some are able to emotionally connect with other people. And because of this high electronic frequency they have, they're able to fly mobile suits better than most people. That's why they call them new types. Some people don't believe in the new types. It's just people who are very good at riding Gundams. They just have a gift. But no, new types do exist. So, anyways, they run into Shuji because they all need money, and they decide, hey, let's do this mock battle stuff, this underground stuff, and they can earn some money. So Shuji ends up being Machi's partner in these battles, and they start winning battles. And Shuji's very good with it. He's a mysterious boy you know nothing about, and he's able to perfectly and well fly Gundam. but he's so relaxed and peaced out. He's like an artist and stuff. But Machu and Neon both fall in love with this character immediately, and I'll get into that later on. Now, the people who lost the Gundam, the G-Class Gundam, and are also looking for the Red Gundam, are secretly watching these three doing these battles from the distance, waiting to see how well they can ride the G-Class and with the Red Gundam as well. And then episode 2 comes along, and episode 2 is about Char, and it's an alternate version this time. Char finds a Gundam, he rides it well, and he gets into battle. They paint it red, and now he disappears one day, and everyone been looking for him. He just disappeared. And of course, this is where the Federation wins. Well, no, Federation loses the battle, I believe. Yeah, Federation loses the battle. Can't freaking remember. Damn. Anyways, is that's what happened. So after that episode, it turns out that there's some sort of connection to the very first Gundam series, and it connects to this one, doing this multiple different world theory kind of thing. We're all from different dimensions and universes, and something's happening, and that's when the plot starts to get a twist. In my opinion, for some people, including myself, I kind of wish they didn't do that. I really wish they didn't do that. Because of that, the original cast of Gundam kind of stole the thunder of the main cast in this series. You got Char when the episode Char came out. He was very cool, very charming, charismatic, and like, wow, this is a cool character. I like him and stuff. And the setting and the tone of Gundam felt like something that a lot of people weren't familiar with. So it was like, okay, what is it? I'm not used to this kind of Gundam, but that's what it was. So as the first half is of the show, it's pretty much about Machu in the game. And then as things start to escalate in the second half, it starts being more and more about the very first Gundam series. And that's where some people didn't like where the series was turning into in a way. They feel like this new cast, well, old cast technically, was overshadowing this main cast that was happening. And this happens a lot when you have a sequel to something or a side story, and you have these new characters, and people are getting used to them. But then you show up the old characters from the first or original series, and now everyone's only thinking about those characters, and they're getting most of the screen time. It's hard to balance that for a lot of people because it'll make people like the original characters still more than the new ones. It happens a lot. I know it happened in a way in the new world of the new video game, where the old cast came back and everyone only cared about the old cast more than the new cast. The new cast was so good, it's just that the old cast was just way better. So, anyways, people didn't like a lot of things about this anime. Not the music, not the animation or the art design or even the premise. All those things were good. They were invested into it. It's just that the way the plot went. A lot of characters didn't have time to cook. Machu herself is a girl who had everything. She was born in an area that was not destroyed by the war. She has parents who are extremely successful. She goes to a very good school. But however, she lives in her idea a mundane life. She's one of those girls who have it good, but is forward because they want danger and excitement. That's all they really want. So when she's involved in the situation with Neon and meets Suji, she wants to feel, like, wow, something's amazing happening in my life for once. And then she starts doing Gundam battles with Suji, and she's able to go into this dimension where it's called the Kira Kira, and she loves it and stuff like that. She's like, it's something only her and Suji can do, and she's high off of it, and she's in love with Suji because only her and him can do it. And now, that's what Machu's character is. As someone who had it going good, but just wanted something interesting happening in her life, no matter what it may be. And it leads her down to a very spiral of her, in a way, losing everything in her life. by the end of the show. Then there's Neon. Neon is a character that's extremely undercooked. I mean, she starts off as this character who's just trying to make money. She lost her family during the war and everything, and now she just has nothing left. So she just lives to survive, do a job, get the money, and go. But when she met Machu and Shuji, she immediately attaches herself to them. First, she seems to be this very cold, distant character, no little to no emotions. But then as she meets those two, she starts to attack herself immediately. This girl wants to be loved. This girl wants to be seen, no matter what it takes. So she, in a way, during the show, she also just attaches herself to Shuji. Like she is trying to impress Suji and stuff like that. She's competing with Machu here and there to be with Shuji, and she kind of envies them when it comes to them seeing the Kira Kira. Until she gets into this mobile suit as well, it turns out she's a new type as well. And she's able to see the Kira Kira, but it's different. So this makes Machu jealous. Machu can't stand it because she thought she was special. It was just her and Shuji and everything, and she was very upset about it. And it was just like, wow, girl, you're only doing it because you want to feel special. That's all it is, man. I swear, isn't that a privileged girl problem right there, man? Machu and her first world problems. That's what it is with this chick, man. She has everything going for her, but it wasn't enough. You know, it's always like that. Someone who has nothing, but they're willing to attach themselves to anything to have something. There's someone who has everything, but willing to drop it away because they want to feel special. In a way, it teed me off with Machi, but instead, I kind of admire her about it. But at least she wasn't whining about not having excitement. She just went and go get it. Suji is a character with nothing at all. You know nothing about him. He's just mysterious. No foreshadowing, nothing. It's just he's there and then he disappears. He comes back again towards the end of the series. And it's just like these characters fall in love with this dude in a short amount of time and nothing happens. It's just they just fall in love with him. And it's just so ridiculous. And then there's the military people. I do like the commander. Commander's cool. In my opinion, Commander is my favorite character. I love the Commander. He is calm. He's cool. He's collective. He just wants to see his friend again. He wants to build a world where new types can coexist with humans and stuff. He has his goal, but in order to achieve his goal, he has to do some very dangerous things at the end of it. I like this character. He is very cool. My favorite character, in my opinion. And then the others, who cares? Some show up with cool designs and then they die that same episode. That's all it is, man. Then again, people die in Gundam. And of course, in every Gundam series, they want to be one without a giant massacre happening. And that's exactly what happens during like the middle of the show, man. A giant massacre happens. Every Gundam series needs to have a giant massacre. That's Gundam. War crimes. But anyways, man, this was definitely something, man. And then towards the end, they bring up a lot of stuff that they just drop on you and stuff after the gang splits and do their own thing. Neon pretty much attaches herself to someone else, and Machu is a wanted and on the run. And Shuji, of course, disappears, and then they meet each other again, and things happen. How it ends, you have to watch for yourself. I did enjoy the series. I really did. I liked it. The problem was that it was so undercooked. Things were happening too fast. Characters were here, then they were gone. Machu herself didn't really have time to make her own decision. Her life was just being led by everybody else that was happening. And I guess that's what it was. Machu was just used to things happening for her. So she was going with this flow in a way like the Kira Kira and just going with whatever was happening at the time, which led her to some very dangerous situations. And it completely changed her life, whether you decided it's for the better or for the worse for her. But you think about what she really did. Was it the right thing? Was it the good thing? Either way, it was her. Wasn't even her decision in the end. Really? I guess she did make some choices, but it was some very bad choices. Now, the Neon, she didn't really make any choices either. She was just also following people. So the thing was that these people had no initiative. They had no light to know what to do. They just attached themselves to something because they wanted to be felt needed or they wanted to be special, as I want to say. And it led them into the situation towards the end of the series. Now, will I recommend you watch it? Yes. But after that, go watch the first Gundam series. You should do. It's very good. I wish they just remake the original Gundam series, that would have been nice. Get people to catch up on Gundam. You really want to bring Gundam back. Remake the first series. There you go. Come on to it, Sunrise. You have the money. We know you do. Anyways, this is long enough, but it's just that there's a lot I want to talk about this show. It was good, but it could have been way better if one it didn't focus on the original Gundam series. It was its own thing and had more episodes, much as Witch of Mercury did. That way, you would have the characters truly develop. There would have been more of a satisfying ending, and things would make more sense instead of everything just being all rushed out at once, because that was ridiculous. So, anyways, that's my opinion on Mobile Suit Gundam GQuuuuuuX. I still offer that you give it a try. But everything on the diet was still good, in my opinion. So, anyways, that's all in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, of course, hit that bell icon. This has been Macron, all Signing out.